Ni hao. Wunta hanchu hu wancha. Wa hanchu hu maitakum. Dwala. You see, I'm already perfecting my skills in Mandarin, also called Pontoguao. Because if care is not taken, we're soon going back to colonization. That Nigeria, D2 Africa, has turned to China for infrastructural loan is no longer news. And that China is gradually taking over the asset of loan defaulting country is also not news, as they have not only recently taken over international airport in Lusaka, Zambia, but some other prize assets in the country, like Zesco, the power company, for defaulting in her $8 billion loan from China. This happened barely after the Zambia state-owned media TV and radio station, ZMBC, were taken over by the Chinese, as they control 60% of the shares therein. Most of these Chinese loans, even though cheap in terms of interest rates, are usually very difficult to pay back, as the borrowed fund always finds its way back to China as capital flight, since most of the projects are executed by the Chinese to the extent of supplying even the laborers. That we have also waived our collective freedom, our sovereignty, to the Chinese over a $5.3 billion infrastructural loan as admitted by the Minister for Transportation, Chibike Amechi, is even more frightening. Even though he claimed not to know the existence of such a waiver clause in the agreement, yet he wants us to take the loan. Only God knows how many of such sovereignty waiver clauses are inserted in most of the other agreements with China and other countries. If there are such clauses, then we should be prepared and ready as a people in the event of any default on our part to forfeit some of these are supposed national infrastructures to the Chinese government. Some of these assets include, but not limited to, the following: the Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Port Harcourt airport terminals being constructed by China's Civil Engineering Construction Corporation, CCECC, with a borrowed loan of $3.4 billion jointly borrowed by Buhari and Goodluck administration from the China Exim Bank for the rehabilitation of the airports. Abuja Urban Rail System is another one, which is being constructed with a $500 million loan from China. The 180-kilometer Abuja-Kaduna Rail System, which was also funded from the $1 billion Chinese loan from Jonathan and Buhari's administration, borrowed by both administrations at $500 million apiece. Lagos-Ibadan rail line being funded by a $1.6 billion loan secured from the China Exim Bank also is one of such projects. The Lagos-Kano rail line, which is ordinarily an extension of the Lagos-Ibadan line and will be constructed with a sum of $6.1 billion loan from China. The Zungeru hydroelectric power project under construction by the China Electric Engineering Company, CEC, with a loan of $1.2 billion also from China. The fiber cable for internet infrastructure constructed with a loan of $328 million from the Export-Import Bank of China. Variously newly constructed rail lines, road rehabilitation, Kum water supply project constructed with a $1 billion loan from China. All of these I've listed will be collectively taken over if we default. Thunder, hope you they do press up. Even though the government has promised to pay back the loan as at when due, can this loan be paid from the 1,000 naira train ticket on these trades or from the sales of crude oil from the rich Niger Delta region that is not a beneficiary of any of this loan apart from the train through Port Harcourt? That would be one of the wonders of the world. Well, time will tell. I would therefore advocate that the National Assembly should not just review the clauses in most of this loan, but should cancel majority of the loans in their entirety, as recently done by Sierra Leone and Tanzania. The Sierra Leone president, Julius Maada Bio, he had to cancel a $400 million Chinese contract signed by his predecessor, Ernest Bai Koroma, on the ground that some of clauses in the agreement were not favorable to Sierra Leone. The same thing with Magufuli of Tanzania. For if we plug the leakages in government, reduce the allowances of our public office holders, and properly utilize recovered loot, we would not need to mortgage the future of our country, youth and generation unborn, all in the name of borrowing funds to fund infrastructure. Otherwise, you better start learning how to speak Mandarin, as we might soon be having Chen Jinping as central bank governor or Wen Zhongzhan as FCT minister. A word said in half goes into the wise and becomes a whole. Zie zie, I like the Jaw will say, abayo.